JB here. Hope I was doing outstanding. October 28th, 2024, almost 9 o'clock here on this fine Monday. Talk really quick about the market, some of the names I'm looking at, and go from there. But SM futures are in the green. Who would have thunk it? Thought it. Thunk it's not a word, right? uh, you had after the close on Friday, you have reports that Israel's doing their strikes on Iran. I mean, it's the most telegraphed, this tit for tat thing. It's crazy that you see these headlines. It's like X or any of these other places are discussing it before it actually happens. I mean, I guess it's 21st century warfare, but uh, so you had the bears pounding their chest. Oh, here we go. Here's the catalyst for downside. And then, as I guess as dawn came up and the dust settles, it looks like maybe that's going to be it for now. Which there's no oil infrastructure hit and things like that. So you see futures rallying. Oil prices down 6%. Good sign. Well, not a good sign, but better than what the other outcome, which would be a solid red day this morning. So I didn't want to see that. But a lot of things this week. So busy week. We have PC data Thursday, GDP data Tuesday, trillions of dollars in earnings, 181 companies in the S&P report this week. Uh, and then next week's the big week as well. You have the Fed meeting, you have the election. So lots of things to wade through as we head into the end of the year. So and then the start of November on Friday. I like this historical chart. I think I don't know if Pinto posted a chart, but the historical performances. Ryan Dietrich posted this on X of the best 6 month period for the S&P going back to 1950. And you look, November to April is the best historically performing period for markets. So just another data point that points in the right direction. But VIX was over 20 at times yesterday on Friday. We all the way up to 584.50 on the SPY at 10 o'clock on Friday before just a meltdown all the way down to 578, the support area we've been talking about. Then we bounced up to 579 to the close. Here we are at 582 and change, the spot we were at the noon hour on Friday. So I would not be surprised to see more chop. Maybe we come down and test that 578 again. I wouldn't rule that out. But I think if we have some chop today and tomorrow, that bodes well for upside, especially we have earnings. Google's reports after the close Wednesday, and then we start getting the other names: Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. It's Meta. So it's gonna be a pretty crazy after-hour session for the next couple days. And then the other side is the yields, and they keep rising. So we'll see if they rebound. They were lower this morning, and we'll see if those come back. All right. So now some individual names. VKTX, I'm just a monster, finally a monster, up over 18% last week after its earnings, and just commentary around the data they're going to release for obesity week. As opposed to trying to get high premium calls to encompass obesity week, I got those the November 5th. I mean the November 1st, which expire this week. Able to lock most of those in. I put on the watch list Friday morning that if I was able to lock more in for a couple 100%, I would. So I did that for over 300%, and I still hold a couple the strikes that expire this week, and then I added some higher strikes for November 15th. And the premise there is I didn't want to get an expensive contract because two reasons. One, if we ramp up to 85, 90 this week, those calls are going to go up substantially already. And then, if it does rally, it's not going to matter what strike you have. They're all going to do well. But I think the higher, further out in money, less expensive strikes will have the higher multi-bag potential. So that's kind of the thought process there on VKTX. But they'll have obesity data. Will probably be out Sunday after the close. Sunday before the market opens on Monday. And it's all about the dosing, right? So they're going to take a cohort and with higher dosage. And right now you have these, uh, all the other GLP-1 names. They once they get to those higher dosage levels, there's a lot of adverse effects, and that's the reason why you see some of these names. Once they start raising the dosage amounts, it's just not a good outcome. So if VKTX is going to be able to figure out how to get the dosage higher, which would mean more weight loss, you would think, and then with little to no adverse effects, stock will go bonkers the next day. That's BKTX. Ended those SE calls too. Was looking great into the afternoon, almost up at 102, which multi-year highs, and then it just faded all the way into the close to close under 99. Well, close at 99. Gapping again here this morning. Just a matter of time before this runs 15, $20 on a very short time frame. Tight Bollinger Band setup is still there. It's like a sling. It's like a rubber band, right? Once that rubber band breaks, right, you pull, and then it breaks. It's going to explode. I don't know if that's the best characterization or whatever you want to call of it or the imagery, but That's how I see it. Roku reports earnings after close Wednesday. I was mentioning on Friday. I was going to look for some calls, but I'll probably today probably be the day I do it. And if I do get some strikes, I'm going to look to close some or all before the close Wednesday. If you look at their earnings history, the last time they reported earnings, their Q3 earnings, which was November 1st of last year, they closed up 30% the next day. And then the next couple quarters that we've had since then have all closed lower. So maybe this is going to be another deja vu event where we have a big move to the upside. Put on a watch list. I think it's either sub 70 or over 90, probably even lower. If there's a miss, it's probably going to get punished back into the low 60s, possibly, right? So that's Roku. That's kind of thought process to trade there. TravelZoo, I posted the stuff on FinTwit on Friday, also in the chat room, and then I've just put the little link in the chat room as well. But if you know my thoughts on TravelZoo, I haven't had a chance to put a piece together, but there's not much more color I can add than I already did about the company just being a cash cow generator. They have a possible tailwind with their membership program coming online at the start of the year. I don't think any of that's baked into stock whatsoever. I think it trades over $20 in the coming weeks. So unfortunately, there's only monthly strikes, and then it's November, December, and then it goes all the way to March. So maybe the CBOE will add some January or February strikes so that it kind of takes out some of the premium. But I might look for some December strikes and or possibly March strikes for the eventual move to the upside. And then as a whole, I think the travel sectors is probably in its best space that's ever been, or at least definitely post-COVID and possibly pre-COVID going back. So all that just lends to travel names going. Clear Secure got an upgrade this morning. I don't know if it was really a bullish analyst, but they just raised their price targets. That might help Clear Secure today. But really like TravelZoo here. I'll go more on my rants. You probably hear me talk about it for some time. Oh, and there's Clear Secure, down 1.5% on Friday. I guess a choppy week, but a good sign. Some consolidation ready for the next leg to 40. I think that's about it. I'm trying to think of some of the other names or things. I mean, obviously a lot of earnings this week. Uh, I don't even know. I until yields come down and the VIX gets under 20, it's tough for me to get convicted on some of these names. So I'm gonna be very cautious again this week, and just nibble in some names. And if we do get down to 578 on a SPY, don't be surprised if I get some hedge puts. And that's it, folks. Let's have a great week, great start to the week, a great Monday. I'll be back on audio later. Rock and roll.